Hey everyone, Mark here. Today I got another albums ranking. This is from 1981. Let's do this right away. Number 10, I have Judas Priest, Point of Entry. This is the band's seventh studio album. With their success of British Steel, they decided to pursue more of a radio-friendly sound. It's a good album, but not my favorite from the band, but it's a good album still. So number 10, I have Judas Priest, Point of Entry. Number 9, I have Venom, Welcome to Hell. This is the start of black metal, right? This band's from the UK. They formed in 1978, but it's a pretty good debut album. I do like black metal more to this album, but it's a great debut album. Welcome to Hell by Venom is number 9. Number 8, I have Accept Breaker. This German heavy metal band released their third studio album. So for my first time listening to this album, and it's a really good album. It's heavy and catchy. Yeah, just another killer album, killer band, Accept Breaker. Number 7, I have Saxton, Denim and Leather. This heavy metal band from the UK released their fourth studio album. Probably their best album. I'm not too familiar with Saxon. I do listen to a few of their albums here and there. They just released their studio album. They released a new studio album this year, which I really liked a lot. Might make it my end of the year list. We'll see. But yeah, this album, guys, this album is a certificate gold in the UK. So number 7, I have Saxton, Denim and Leather. Number 6, I have Ozzy Osbourne, Diary of a Madman. This is Ozzy's second studio album. This is the last album with Randy Rhoads. I think we all know the story. This album has sold over 3 million copies worldwide. Number 5, I have Motley Crue, Too Fast for Love. This is their debut album released by the band's label at the time, Leather Records. Then in the year, they got signed to Elektra Records, which, they signed these bad boys from LA. Of course, we have Vince Neil, Mickey Mars, Nikki Sixx, and Tommy Lee. Great songs on here, like Live Wire, Stick to Your Guns, and Too Fast for Love. Just a great album by Motley Crue, their debut album, Too Fast for Love. Number 3, I have Iron Maiden, Killers. This is the band's second studio album, the first with Adrian Smith, and the last with vocalist Paul Di'Anno. Paul liked to have a good time. I think he had too much good times, and the band will kick him out and eventually get Bruce Dickinson. Album was produced by Martin Birch, which would produce many other albums. Wrathchild is a killer track, probably my favorite track on this album. So number 2, I have Black Sabbath, Mob Rules. This is the band's 10th studio album. Their second with Dio on vocals. First album with Vinny Appice on drums. Of course, we have Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, of course, in the band, right? Like, you gotta have those guys to be Black Sabbath. Great heavy metal album. I love Dio's voice on here. Turn Up the Night is probably my favorite track on this album. Awesome album. Black Sabbath, Mob Rules. Number 1 album I have here is Rush Motion Pictures. This Canadian rock band released their 8th studio album on Anthem Records, co-produced by Terry Brown, not Terry Date, but Terry Brown, his cousin. They created some songs that were tighter and shorter. With songs like Tom Sawyer, YYZ, Limelight, and more. It's Rush's best-selling album at 5 million copies. Killer album by Geddy Lee, Alex Lifeson, and Milpert. So that's my top 10 albums. I'll go with my top 3 I have Iron Maiden, Killers. Number 2, I have Black Sabbath, Mob Rules. And number 1, I have Rush, Motion Pictures. Let me know what your top albums were in 1981. And remember, everybody, metal never dies. Cheers.